Hey everybody, this is Dr. Osborne. Today in this three-part series on adrenal fatigue, we're talking about what the symptoms are. What are the symptoms of adrenal fatigue? So I'm going to go through this list and kind of map out for you what you want to look for if you suspect that you might have an adrenal issue. So number one on the list is chronic fatigue. Chronic fatigue is very, very big. And actually, number one and number two here go really hand in hand, chronic fatigue and morning exhaustion, because in this type of scenario, what happens is a person is tired all the time, no matter how much sleep they have. But particularly when they wake up in the morning, they feel like they haven't slept a bit. So chronic fatigue and morning exhaustion, two very big symptoms you want to look out for if you suspect you might be struggling with adrenal fatigue. Number three on the list, exercise intolerance. You try to exercise and you can't. You don't tolerate it. It knocks you out, wipes you out, puts you back down in bed for days. So if you are trying to exercise, willpower, getting yourself up off the floor to try to make it happen, and you just don't tolerate it and it wipes you out, that's a big symptom of adrenal fatigue. Number four, inability to lose weight. And this ties in a lot to number three, which is, inability to exercise or tolerate exercise. But no matter how many calories you eat, no matter how much you sleep, no matter how much exercise you try to do, the weight just won't come off. And actually, on the other side of inability to lose weight is another symptom. We can call it symptom 4A, which is weight gain, unexplainable weight gain. And so very common for people with adrenal fatigue to have unexplainable weight gain, even though diet may not have changed. Number five is irritability. So if you find yourself being very snappy, yelling at those that you love, this is one of those symptoms that you want to pay close attention to. If you're women, if you're yelling at your husband, men, if you're arguing with your wife too much, or arguing with your boss, or just feeling very irate for no other reason, this is a big one in terms of adrenal fatigue. Number six is chronic muscle pain. Now, going back to number four, which was inability to lose weight, and number three, which is exercise intolerance, I want these to make sense for you. Chronic muscle pain, meaning the muscles and even the joints can ache. And so trying to exercise is hard because you hurt. But that muscle pain in and of itself leads to an exercise avoidance in a sense, and that kind of trifecta of symptoms, and we can even call it a quaternary effect of symptoms, because number seven, which is muscle loss, one of the problems with chronic adrenal issues is that initially adrenal fatigue, what happens is too much cortisol. So your body's overproducing cortisol. Cortisol is a catabolic hormone. It wastes your muscle tissue. It breaks it down. And that's where the muscle pain can set in. That's where the exercise intolerance can increase. And that's where the inability to lose weight sets in, because remember, your muscle mass sets the pace for your metabolism. So if you're losing muscle, and that loss of muscle, that breakdown of muscle, is creating weakness and inability to exercise, that obviously all those things combined together are going to create a scenario where you're either gaining weight or you're unable to lose weight. Number eight is salt craving. The adrenal glands regulate salt. They produce a set of hormones called mineralocorticoids, which help you to regulate your sodium and other electrolytes. And so some people that have salt avoidance can develop kind of the early symptoms of adrenal fatigue, and they'll start salt craving. So, we've been told don't put salt on your food. It increases your risk for high blood pressure. And of course, MSG and processed salts are not a good idea, but you should eat salt in the form of Himalayan salt or sea salt. So if you're craving salt and you have all these other symptoms, it might not be a bad idea to make sure you're getting adequate salt from a healthy source. Number nine is water retention. Very common to see people with adrenal fatigue bloat and retain water, interstitial water. So the face will swell, the arms and the feet and the hands can swell with water. So if you're having trouble putting on a ring or keeping your rings on, if your feet are swelling and it hurts to put your shoes on, these are kind of some of the early warning signs of adrenal fatigue. Then number 10 is low blood pressure. Low blood pressure. Remember that part of regulating electrolytes is regulating blood pressure, and part of regulating fluid retention is regulating blood pressure. So a lot of times people with adrenal fatigue, their blood pressure will start to drop. Remember, your adrenal glands also produce adrenaline, which is one of the primary stimulating hormones that helps to regulate your blood pressure and your energy level. Number 11 is low blood sugar. Part of what your adrenal glands do if your blood sugar starts to drop is they signal your liver to produce sugar from its stores, from its storehouse. And so when your adrenal glands are fatigued and failing, that's not happening very well. So if you're not eating consistently, your blood sugar levels will drop and you'll develop a kind of a hypoglycemia with a hyperglycemia rebound. And so low blood sugar, consistent low blood sugar is a very common symptom of adrenal fatigue. And then number 12 on the list is depression. Adrenaline and noradrenaline, or epinephrine and norepinephrine, depending on whether you're from Europe or whether you're from the United States, those hormones are synonymous. These hormones are very important for stimulating the brain. And so a lot of times when people don't adequately produce them, it can lead to a depression of the brain, and a depression in your thoughts, a depressive symptomatology. So you can become very, very depressed. Again, low energy, exhaustion, depression, all kind of tie together. But these are the top 12, right? These are the top 12 symptoms of adrenal fatigue. And if you're struggling with these, what you really want to make sure that you're doing is analyzing the other two videos in this series, which are what to do about adrenal fatigue if you have it, what are the top strategies to combat adrenal fatigue, and what are the top causes of adrenal fatigue. This is a 3-part series, so make sure you go back and watch part 1 and part 2 of this series so that you have a comprehensive approach to helping combat adrenal fatigue. And as always, for more information, you can visit us online at glutenfreesociety.org or drpeterosborne.com. This is Dr. Osborne, hoping to help and save 100 million lives through knowledge of functional medicine. Hope you have a great day, and we'll see you in the next video.